Hey folks, iyatee. I'm back again. You guys are probably getting tired of seeing me, huh? Here I went all that time without making any videos, and now I'm blowing you up. Got a piece of Novaculite here, and I showed that on a previous video. And we're going to see if we can get her thinned out a bit. And the bopper I want to use here. Still a pretty good sized biface, so gonna use a larger bopper. Ooh, there's a pretty little flake. It's thin, but it's a good flake. One of the things that I, for some reason, struggled with was using a big enough hammer for the job, basically. Afraid of breaking it, and so I tended to use too small a bopper. There is a trade-off where your piece size, you really need to match the bopper size to the thing you're working on. There is a point where with a great big bopper it gets a lot harder to take flakes consistently because it's just really too big for the piece, in my opinion, at least the way I work. And so I like to try to match the bopper to the piece I'm working, but there's always a but, right? Doggone if I didn't run in there. You want to use the biggest bopper that the piece will take, I guess. And that's something you just have to learn just by napping and figuring out what works for you. That joker's pretty thin. For as wide as it is, it's really thin. Like I'm going to straighten up the edge with pressure. We really did reduce that dude down pretty thin for the width that it is. Take an impact strike right there. This thing's probably every bit of 3 inches wide at the moment, or if it ain't, it's doggone close to it. Couple little fawns on the hill behind us yesterday. I have seen more fawns this year than I have ever seen in my life. There is one heck of a fawn crop this year. Novaculite's another stone that prefers that finer abrader. I should pop off there with a knife. Alright, I'm ready to clean this edge up. That was kind of fun, actually, that piece. Hopefully we won't run into Any issues? Cleaned up. Everything you see on here, all these boppers and all the rest of the indirect sticks, the flexi sticks and all that kind of stuff, all that stuff is available on the website, flintknappingtraditions.com. Yes, this is an infomercial. I tried for a long time not to talk about the website and stuff on my videos, but just can't do it. It all ties together, so you'll have to, if you want to watch the channel, you just have to deal with my shameless plugs. And all of you that's ordering from the website, I truly, truly appreciate it. And all of you that's watching the videos, either one, you don't have to buy nothing from the website. I appreciate you either way. Just watching is a help. "11 minutes and the monitor's working good, so that's good." That last video, it's been taking so long to produce the videos in editing. Once you edit them all, then you got to go through and produce the video and save it and then upload it to YouTube. And uploading to YouTube has been incredibly fast here recently, much faster than normal. Not sure why that is, but they did some sort of update too, so it kind of does a little bit different, I guess. I don't know. Seems to be different anyways. But since they updated that editing app that I use, it just takes forever for the videos to produce. And I have to watch the video through. Now, that's if there's hiccups here or there, or I know it's got to have something that's got to be fixed or something, you know, phone overheats or something like that, then I know there has to be something fixed. And a lot of times I have to watch the video all the way through as I'm editing. Other times I don't take time to do that. But I probably would have shot more videos out here had the production part of it didn't take so doggone long. You know, not even sure why it is, but it is. He hinged it all up. Yep. Story of my life. fingernail fractures. That's a hinge though. More or less a hinge.
Super wide slot. Bring one. I think I did.
Yep. I mean, that's a wide slot right there, buddy. Dang it. I didn't want that to happen. Wasn't expecting that to happen. I think I put a crack in it right there. Well, that's a hiccup. Only way to get to is from this other side, and that's a long ways across that, dude. That's a good opportunity to break it. Or clear it off, either one. Sweet, that got most of it. It actually knocked all that part off. I don't see another way in right there, so. To get that energy to come across to this, it's just gonna have a hiccup right here is all there is to it. I screwed up sending that in there, but now it's there. The way I got that plate to go all the way over there is when I had it in there, back pressure, so you put it against your hand like that, and wherever you want that force to go to, that's where you brace it, and you push it in there into that, and it'll drive that force to your hand better than if you don't do that. So do that thing I just explained, just don't do this. I know a lot of times I say there ain't no getting that out, and then I get it out at the end, but I really don't think there's no getting that out, not without making it a lot smaller. And although I'd like to have a perfectly clean surface, that's always my goal. That's probably not happening here. If I could push a piece of it off though, that would be sweet. Oh, I got a part of it. There we go. It's still rough, but at least I got that off. Well, if I do get an opportunity at a flake coming in there, then it'll be smoother anyways. This side's pretty great. That side's a little rough right there. But anyways, it is what it is. Know what I mean? All you new guys that are around here, you're probably like, does this guy ever shut up? Nope. On occasion, when I'm sleeping or something like that, I shut up. I don't feel like I talk all that much, and I felt like that, and I said that when I first started the channel. I was like, I really don't talk that much. This a little bit, blah 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 blah. My wife and my kids seen that, and they're like, Dad, you never shut up. when I first started watching napping videos, the ones I liked the most were the ones where they were talking. And if you were just pointing to stuff and then doing it or whatever, there was zero explanation of what you were doing when you were doing it, well, then I didn't watch. Because I just, you know, pretty soon I'd be asleep. So I've had plenty of people tell me, I don't care if you talk or not, I just want to watch a nap. And that's fair enough. And I figure the ones that don't want to hear me talk, or talk about what I'm doing, or talk about whatever, I'm an oversharer, then you can just turn the volume off. I tried the whole not talking and napping thing. Because I thought some people might do that. I knew Crafty was doing it, and his no talk videos for people falling asleep to the sound of napping. Which a lot of people find to be a soothing sound, including myself. So anyways, I tried that. I even created a playlist for it, and I couldn't keep my mouth shut through the video. It was just not something I could, it's really not something I could do. This side's just a little more disagreeable. I don't know. It's not horrible, but it's does leave a little to be desired. I'm afraid to push a flake in there because I'm afraid it's going to stop on that. It got under it pretty much, but it still left that dang thing there. That side is just not being very agreeable. Oh, I broke the tip. Doggone it, Danny. Trying to send some across there to clean that up, and got overly aggressive with it, I guess. I had my tip laying on that pad, and so now I got to reshape my tip. Sometimes a fella just wants to get through one without breaking something on it. I did earlier today, so I don't feel like I'm as much on the struggle bus today as I was yesterday. I still started and made 3 points yesterday, which, you know, any day you do that is a pretty good day, in my opinion. Start 3 and complete 3. Alright, we're just going to clean it up and I haven't been paying as close attention to this monitor. I've actually got lucky in the last couple videos when I thought I was way far out of frame for way too long, and turned out it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Most definitely relaxing napping out here. If I was home, I'd be thinking about all the stuff I got to do, and I still am a little bit. There's orders coming in, and I prefer to get them orders out the next day, the same day or next day if I can. But you know, sometimes I'm traveling for rock, and today I'm out here camping, so things happen. So I've decided I still have to have a life, so as many of you know, that I try to get them out just super quick. But what did I do with my tool? Oh, good grief. Hold on. Okay, literally right in front of my face. Back to it. Some of those flakes are still running in this far, which is quite a ways. Close to an inch, even with this little hand flaker. It's a little rough there. Just a little bit. first pulling into my campsite. Guess they changed their mind. Bleeding, I guess. I sure struggle to see the translucent materials. Oops. Get the symmetry close. And it'll make it a little easier to get this base going here. That guy slow rode by here 3 times now. I don't know why you don't just stop and visit. He's obviously interested in whatever it is I'm doing, but he doesn't want to stop, I guess. All right, so I need to make some big, deep notches, at least fairly deep. And let's say that's the center. something like that. They're basically, let's look at it. So here's the calf creeks: Texas, western Arkansas, Missouri, eastern Oklahoma. Description: a medium to large size thin triangular point with very deep parallel basal notch, similar to the Andice and Bell points. Very rare type in Texas.
So we got to make some deep notches and hope we don't break it.
So we got some marks here. Yet it's hard to see the doggone marks. In order to get up in there that far, although it is relatively thin to the size, I'm going to have to get good pop outs. The end of that broke off. I'll be dang. Already on the notch and struggle bus.
Sharpen this thing up again.
getting there. We are definitely getting there. If you're using your notch tool this way, then you want to keep it filed sharp and relatively thin. You don't want to file just on the sides and not across the face too, because then it'll be thick and you'll have happen what happened to that pink Novaculite one that turned into a corner notch the other day, where I just didn't have this thin enough and it was fat, and when it went in there it just blew the barb off. That's what happened to that one. Doesn't mean you can't still blow a barb off, but oh no! Doggone it. Now that's a bummer. That dude just wrapped back around and snapped the whole end of it off. That's disappointing. I mean, that's a bummer. Doggone it. Super bummer. Now we're gonna have to shorten things up. Is what it is, I guess. That loses quite a bit of length though. we still get a good point out of it. I did not realize that was going in there and hinging out though. It's still much lower on this side than the other side. It's starting to get pretty thick over here on this side. We're stalled out on that side pretty bad. But as deep as we got in there, that's not really a surprise. We lost so much off the bottom. But it does need to, most definitely needs to be as deep as the other one.
What other files do we got?
I should have brought a full set of files, but I didn't. Let's see if that'll pop out. Well, it's going to be a long video. I didn't think it was going to be that long in the beginning. That really didn't do much. No, sure didn't. sometimes it's good to take a little break from something you're struggling with. Got another pop out on this other side, which I didn't really need. Man, our symmetry is way off here. This whole side needs to come in. Kept trying to fix that with the tip, but I don't think it can be fixed with the tip. That's closer. this comes out a little. Too far there. Okay, I gotta get this. It's got a knot right there and I'm stuck in that knot. Wasn't planning on getting that deep into this thing, but when you break an ear off, and that dude just kind of just wrapped right back on around there and just, heck, it came back a ½ inch in reverse. Let's see if we can get in there and pop out. It's funny. So a lot of times I can just, if I'm doing a deep notch like that, I just go click, 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 click all the way to the end. It never seems to be on camera. I'm sure no one believes that. They're like, yeah, right. There ain't a chance of me getting that, I can tell you that. We got a little bit of a pop out. Not as deep as you'd like to see. That's still closer to this other side than that side. Struggle bus city, buddy. Nothing. I don't know that I'm gonna get another one. Okay, I think we're far enough. Let's see, what do I do with my pressure flake here? That one.
I have thrown it down somewhere. Dropped it. Did something with it.
I guess I can use this one. Terrible about that, especially when my tools aren't where, even when they are, don't get me lying, even when they are where they're supposed to be, I still look for my tools constantly. I don't know if that's the way it is for all y'all or not, but in my toolkit that I have, my toolkit at home, it's got all kinds of junk in it. Most of it I don't ever use. I got a much smaller toolkit out here right now than I normally have. There's actually only been a couple things that I wish that I had, which was just a couple more files and things like that. I think we're pretty close here though. Those of you, I even brought a piece of antlers. I was gonna antler sharpen some. But we're not doing that right now. I do like the edge that antler produces. And it's a different looking edge than I get with copper. Actually does a really nice job. I know I wish I would have brought my other two indirect sticks. My other two sizes. I brought the number 4, I haven't even used it. But I didn't bring a bunch of big rock to be, that I might want to use a big indirect stick on, so that's why I haven't used it. I brought much less rock than I normally would. So I installed these stupid hinge in my stem. And I really ain't got a good way to get that off. If I just hook on that without breaking that ear off, I can get it. Or if I could hook onto it, I know that I could pop the dang thing off of there. I just can't get a hold of it enough to get rid of it. Yeah. So I think we're going to leave it there. Hold on just one second. Alright, I'm back. Had to have a pause for station identification. Well, you young folks don't even know what I'm talking about. We notched through a lot of that rough stuff that we had. Here comes the magic. You ready? Phew. If you do this and then wax it, then it'll be permanent. With the oil, it stays quite a while, but it does eventually go away. But it brings out the color in the stone and runs up underneath any of them little fingernail hinges. This is a long video. Good night. No one to watch this one all the way through. Alright, got all the dust off of it and got the magic on it. That's our A side. It's a beautiful. I mean, that's a pretty calf creek, I think. It's almost exactly the same size as this one right here. All right, I messed up. I went to zoom you out and I hit the record button, but it is almost precisely this size. This is the one I was looking at because it most fit my biface, but it's pretty wide, relatively thin, pretty even. I mean, this side has some roughness here. It's not terrible, nothing that you would hinder use of in any way, but you know, I always like to see them as clean, perfectly clean as this side if possible. But there's our point. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and those notches go in there almost precisely the same distance as those, and much deeper than these other ones. But they're pretty deep. Like I said, I don't have a tape measure, but they're, you know, from here around about an inch, I guess, something close to that. And it's at least it's way over 2 inches wide. I don't know for sure how wide. I do wish I had a tape measure, but I just don't. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's a pretty point, and that Nova is just beautiful. But let's see if I can show off the roughness. You can see that. It's just a little rough right there. And believe me, I'm already zoomed in 1 3/4 times on the zoom, and then I'm holding it up to the camera. So this looks worse than what it really is. It's really not bad at all. I mean, it used to be if I had a side that looked that good, that was my A side. I'm like, man, look what I did. But then I got to where I just want everything just perfectly smooth like that. So that's a beautiful point. Appreciate y'all watching. Catch you on the next one. Y'all keep napping.